Do you ever feel like there's something hidden behind what we see every day? Some ancient teachings talk about beings called Archons, mysterious forces that might secretly influence our thoughts, emotions, and even our actions. These beings are hardly mentioned in mainstream religion, but some people believe they're the ones keeping humanity under control. Today, we're going to look at the lost knowledge about the Archons, who they are, what they do, and why this information may have been kept from us. The Archons are described as hidden beings with the power to influence people's lives in ways that are hard to see. This idea comes from an ancient spiritual belief called Gnosticism, which focused on understanding reality, the soul, and who might really control our world. In Gnostic texts, the Archons are seen as lower beings that rule over the physical world. They supposedly create distractions, fears, and doubts to keep people from connecting with their own inner strength and purpose. According to these teachings, the Archons don't want humans to find inner peace or discover their true potential. Instead, they want people to stay focused on things that make them feel stuck, like fear, anger, greed, and jealousy. These emotions keep people from finding the joy and calm that come from knowing themselves and living with purpose. The Archons are described as forces that create illusions to keep people unaware of their potential. Think of them as invisible influences that push us toward negative thoughts and keep us focused on temporary pleasures, instead of growth and inner peace. One way the Archons are said to control us is through fear. By keeping people afraid, whether of failure, the unknown, or each other, the Archons can hold on to their control. When people are fearful, they have trouble thinking clearly or making choices that help them grow. Another method the Archons use, according to these beliefs, is to create division. By encouraging people to judge or fight each other over beliefs, possessions, or power, the Archons keep humanity distracted from what really matters, like peace, love, and understanding. The Archons also create confusion. By filling our minds with doubts and worries, they make it harder for us to trust ourselves. When people constantly doubt themselves, they lose confidence in their own guidance, which can make them feel lost or helpless. It's also believed that the Archons gain strength from negative emotions. When people feel angry, jealous, or hateful, this can increase the Archons' influence. This is why, in Gnostic teachings, a key way to weaken the Archons' control is to practice love, kindness, and forgiveness. Some Gnostic texts describe the Archons as jealous of humanity's potential. Unlike humans, the Archons cannot grow, create, or connect deeply. This jealousy is said to make them want to limit people, keeping them from realizing their full power and freedom. Interestingly, the Archons are described as beings of the mind rather than physical creatures. This means their control isn't about physical actions but about influencing thoughts and emotions. They work in subtle ways, pushing people toward fear and negative thinking. The main goal of the Archons, according to Gnostic beliefs, is to keep people from realizing who they really are. They don't want people to see that they're capable of peace, love, and wisdom. Understanding the Archons can help explain why we sometimes feel stuck or limited in life. If these beings are real and influence us, then much of the negativity we experience might not be our fault, it's part of a system meant to keep us from our true potential. So why don't we hear more about the Archons? Some believe this knowledge was hidden or removed from mainstream religion because it encourages people to look within for answers. If people understood that outside forces might influence their negative thoughts, they might focus more on personal growth and less on following strict rules. Gnostic teachings about the Archons suggest a personal approach to spirituality, which was different from the early church's teachings that encouraged people to follow its authority. By leaving out ideas about the Archons, the church could keep its message simple and avoid raising questions about control over our thoughts. Another reason could be that the Archons are hard to see or prove directly. Since they're said to work in the mind, people can't easily see or measure them, making it harder for many to believe in them, especially compared to more visible religious ideas. For religious leaders, focusing on physical rules and rituals was perhaps easier than discussing abstract ideas like the Archons and hidden influences. So, teachings about the Archons were mostly kept within Gnostic texts that only a few people knew about. By keeping this knowledge hidden, religious leaders may have hoped to guide people along a simpler path, without questioning reality too deeply. But now, we have access to these teachings and can consider what they mean for us. According to Gnostic beliefs, the Archons influence us by creating negative thoughts and emotions. For example, when we suddenly feel fear, doubt, or anger, some believe that these feelings could be pushed by the Archons. They want us to feel disconnected from our true selves, so we focus on problems instead of peace. The Archons are also believed to use distractions to keep people focused on material things, like money, possessions, and status. When people are always focused on things outside themselves, they have less time to look within and discover their own potential. Another way the Archons supposedly control us is by creating division. By encouraging people to judge or fight each other, the Archons keep us focused on differences rather than the unity and peace we could share. Some Gnostics believe the Archons keep us in a cycle of worry, doubt, and fear. They fill our minds with thoughts that make us question ourselves, leading to feelings of helplessness. The idea is that by filling our minds with negativity, the Archons keep us from finding our inner strength. But by recognizing these influences, we can choose positive thoughts and actions instead. Despite the Archons' influence, Gnostic teachings suggest we have free will. We can choose to resist negative influences by staying aware of our thoughts and emotions, and by choosing actions that align with love, kindness, and peace. Practices like meditation, gratitude, and mindfulness help us build this inner strength. By focusing on positive thoughts and staying connected to our true selves, we can reduce the Archons' control over our minds and emotions. When we notice negative thoughts or emotions, we can ask ourselves, is this truly my feeling, or could it be influenced by something else? This awareness can help us make choices instead of just reacting to every feeling that comes up. Some believe that by practicing love, compassion, and forgiveness, we raise our energy to a level the Archons can't reach. This makes it easier to live a life that feels free and true to our values. Understanding the Archons reminds us that we have the power to control our own minds. By staying aware and choosing positive actions, we can live a life that's true to ourselves. The idea of the Archons mainly comes from texts written by a group called the Gnostics. Gnosticism was an ancient belief system that taught people to look within for truth and wisdom. The Gnostics believed the world was influenced by hidden forces, and they wrote about these ideas in texts discovered in the 1940s in Nag Hammadi, Egypt. These texts, now called the Nag Hammadi Library, describe the Archons as beings that create obstacles for people on their spiritual path. According to the Gnostics, the Archons try to keep people focused on fear and confusion instead of peace and self-discovery. In these ancient texts, the Gnostics say that humans have a divine spark within them that gives them the power to overcome the Archons' influence. They believe that by connecting with this inner light, people could see through the Archons' illusions and find spiritual freedom. The Gnostics also believed that knowing about the Archons helps people understand how their thoughts and emotions might be influenced. This awareness lets them make conscious choices instead of being driven by fear or doubt. These Gnostic texts show a different view of life, one where hidden forces try to control us, but we also have the power to resist. The Gnostics encourage people to look within and find the strength to break free, seeing this as the key to true freedom. Thank you for joining me as we uncovered this mysterious knowledge about the Archons. Whether or not you believe in these forces, thinking about their possible influence can inspire us to stay strong, focused, and true to ourselves. If this video made you think, please like and subscribe for more content about spirituality, hidden knowledge, and life's mysteries. Let's keep seeking answers that help us grow and understand ourselves better.